Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe button. Tell a friend, tell a friend. Here we have another crazy story, Bricc baby. Believe it or not, I know it's just a matter of time before Bricc baby got caught up. The reason why I say that because I mean he on 6-0, he just loved. I mean, you know how he was. Plus he was gang affiliated at an old age. Crazy if you think about it.
BET weekend this week. You know what I'm saying? All the steppers gonna be in the city, right? Look, cuz, telling you like this. When you see me, you better tuck tail and run, nigga. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's my weekend. And 6 I got a dime on Charleston Whitehead. It could be more. Me and you can't have no business.
Bricc baby.
You threaten to put money on my life. I'm a victim of a crime against a gangbanger like you.
Bricc baby.
No. I don't want to fight. I don't want to box. Keep on running content on my name. I'm putting Kill Squad in the street.
Wow. Bricc baby.
Yeah, slap of honor. Yeah. They say you can't say that no more.
Why? Oh yeah, because of. Wait, no. Like, who died?
You can't say that no more.
Oh, because of FBG.
That's what Bricc baby is known for. They said you can't say that no more. They say you can't say that no more. Don't forget that Bricc baby, he's the first one to let everybody know about Lil Pop and Lil Durk. But they say you can't say that no more.
Oh.
Nah, because Lil Pop.
They say that Bricc baby, just like a lot of these individuals from California who call themselves gangsters, for some reason, they want to be known. They want to be like famous at the same time. And unfortunately, fame could be dangerous. As you can see what happened to Bricc baby.
That talk but doesn't walk the walk. But as you'll see in this video, this man has a rap sheet longer than Jason Love, and on top of this, he's willing to do the unthinkable, crossing his own flag for the money. And most importantly, you'll get to see who he really is behind the scenes and why he's about to spend the rest of his life in prison. So if you ever took Bricc baby as a joke, this video will certainly change your mind. But before we get into it, let me run the intro.
I think the issues that a lot of these individuals had, say for example, Big U, they didn't know when to stop. Like, they didn't know cutoff point. They just want to be gangsters forever. I don't know, but that's what I think though.
Begins on Bedford Avenue, located in the notorious Overhill section of the Rolling 60s. Here is where a boy named Zaire Mitchell was born to a notorious Los Angeles family. Not notorious on an official or legal level, but notorious in the sense that they were known as a serious hustling family. So given their potentially dangerous lifestyle, they smartly decided to let Zaire stay with his grandma whenever they were handling business. Basically, throughout his younger years, he was between his mom's house on Bedford and his grandma's house on Donview Place.
On 6-0.
To say that his family always wanted to put him in good position.
On 6-0.
Sending him to private school as well. So growing up, Zaire attended Price Christian Academy and was known as a straight-A student and standout basketball player. Now I do want...
You would have thought that Bricc baby would have said, no, I'm going to go the right path, but no. They said the streets called him. The streets was calling him. Unbelievable if you think about it.
Point out that this isn't modern day or something, as the school is definitely located in the hood. But the point is that his parents put him in a good position. And early on, it was really paying off, as Zaire had a bright future ahead.
Zaire.
But then, his parents would meet some people that would change his family's trajectory forever. While Zaire was in middle school, his parents would meet and build a relationship with Big Meech and Southwest T, the founders of the notorious BMF. Ooh-wee, this took their hustle to a whole new level. Basically, they started with helping BMF expand to the West Coast, but then they were actually invited to live with them in Detroit. This was a financial...
I'm trying to figure out if that's where Bricc baby got his name from. Maybe. I had no idea that Big Meech, Bricc baby was, he know everybody. I do know that. I see why now.
Opportunity of a lifetime, and Zaire's parents would take up on it and flee to Detroit. Obviously, they would leave the kids back home to be raised by Granny, and this is when life would start to derail for Zaire. Once his parents left, he began to veer towards hanging out with his cousins in the hood, who happened to be notorious Rolling 60s members.
On
And
6-0.
unfortunately, as soon as he was introduced to the lifestyle, he knew that he wanted to be a part of the streets. But
On
because he was only
6-0.
11 to 12 years old, his cousins refused to put him onto the hood, and as a result, Zaire tried to create his own gangs.
And we started some called Inglewood, California Crip.
Okay.
Me and my best friend, Infalo.
Then, after giving up that idea, he decides to join something else.
From there, I joined a clique called CIP, and it was completely irresistible players. And the police ended up documenting us in the gang files as Crips in Progress. CIP. So they changed it from completely irresistible players to Crips in Progress because we was getting into so much shit in the area. So that was really my introduction.
So now, as a middle schooler,
So that's what's going on, Bricc Baby. He was fascinated by the life. No, I mean, he was just fascinated by the life. I guess, you know, he is where he is because he was fascinated by the life.
Zaire was roaming the West LA streets as an unofficial gang member. But then his friend's uncle would find out about this, and things would not be good for them. Well, not in the way you'd think. Instead of being upset that they're in the streets like any responsible adult should, he was just upset that they didn't join his gang.
Uncle Mike, he found out we all was from this clique, and he came over there tripping one day. Like he was bullying, like this is a big buff grown man. He came over there tripping on us one day, like I ain't having it. Like I either go turn West Boulevard today or get over it.
So
Okay.
now Zaire is pressured with the ultimatum of joining the West Boulevard Crips. This was like a dream come true, except because he was told to do it, he now did not want to do it. Like, if I'm gonna join somewhere, I'm gonna do it because I want to, not because somebody else is telling me to do it.
Okay.
I was finna beef for West Boulevard because he tried to make me. You know, I was rebellious back then, so I started hanging with the Harlem 30s.
So now, after rejecting the West Boulevards, he starts hanging out with the notorious Harlem 30s. He runs with them for a short time, but then his cousins come around and are like, you're either gonna join over there or join us with the 60s.
On
Like,
6-0.
my mom was out of the house and everybody Slauson, and all my cousins lived on Slauson, so I ended up getting put on 60s like my 14th summer, but I always was affiliated.
So Zaire officially gets put onto the 60s during his 8th grade summer.
I got jumped by all old man. I squad with one, he was like 19, and I squad with like a 30-year-old and damn. Yeah, I got knocked out.
On
So now he's
6-0.
officially a Rolling 60s member right before starting out at his private high school. He's known as Zaire Mitchell at school, and on the block he's known
Zaire.
as Wild Bill from the Overhills.
Zaire
But
decided to
somehow,
go down the
thanks to
wrong
his gang
path.
game, he's able to maintain an above 3.0 average at school and to become the backup point guard.
Okay.
Now, you might hear backup point guard and think that he was trash, but no. You gotta know where he went to school. They were stacked. We'll get into all of that in a second, but the point is that while he's doing all this positive stuff, he's also living the life as a full-time gangbang.
I'm trying to figure out if Bricc Baby regrets where he is right now. It's not just Bricc Baby or Bricc You. A whole lot of these Crip members being locked up is their new home. I mean, what's so cool? I don't know, but that's their new home though. They said Bricc Baby, he might not get off for a while. Who did he look up to? Who did he want to be like? I'm assuming he wanted to be like somebody who's respected in the streets. But getting respect in the streets, you have to do a lot sometimes. You have to commit crimes a lot sometimes. It's a terrible thing, it really is.
When he wasn't at his Christian academy, he was knee-deep in very dangerous situations in the set. Specifically, his main expertise was robbing and extorting rappers who come to LA. And that takes us to 2004, June 29th, 2004. It's the weekend of the annual BET Awards in LA, and the Rolling 60s have nothing but a...
So Bricc Baby, I say he's an adult gang member now. 20 years later, 21 years later, they say he's still a gang member. Imagine that. I mean, was Bricc Baby planning on being a gang member forever? I don't know, maybe though.
portion on their minds. In particular, on this day, Zaire and his boys have somebody they want to talk to.
Jeezy.
Yep, that's right. Jeezy
The snowman, okay.
desperately want that chain. Why him? Well, simply because he has the shiniest
Jeezy said
chain
first,
they've
I'm
ever
gonna
seen.
then what?
We've never seen
And then
nothing
what?
like this. You gotta think, LA, like the real Gotti diamond jewelry, diamond in each link, like
Oh, you wanted
this
that?
has never been done in LA yet. The rapper's jewelry is very feasible. Like if you get you some rapper jewelry and go to the jeweler, you up a couple $100,000.
Okay. Bricc Baby was talking about
Unfortunately for
crimes
them, they're unable to get a hand on
on
Jeezy at
TV.
the award show, so now they follow him to the club.
Show you the type
There
of
was so
person
many
he
of
is.
us, we pushed the security out the way and rushed the club.
So now Zaire and his boys run in the club and absolutely take it over. In fact, Zaire jumps behind the bar, grabs 2 bottles,
Bricc
and
Baby.
stands up and clashes them together.
Bricc Baby.
Simultaneously, his boys go over to the DJ booth and grab the mic.
Tell the whole club to roll the 60s in here.
Okay.
Like it's one of them nights.
After doing this, they wiggle
Okay.
over to the section that Jeezy's in, looking
You know,
to
once the
snatch his chain.
rolling 60 shows up, you know what time it is. They're there to steal. Imagine that. Imagine me there to steal. I'm just talking. That's it.
Without their Blakes.
They got like a chopper. This is my first time ever seeing like a mini Carbon or something. Like they got a chopper out like, and we look back and I just go to shake Jeezy and ooh yeah, like what up, man?
Thankfully, the situation was stopped before it
Can't
even
trust
started.
these guys.
They all had to
Imagine
show
that.
At just 16 years old, this is what Zaire was about. And because of his willingness to do anything for the 60s, he was increasing his rank. This is how he earned the name in the set of Shitty or Shitra.
As I said, it's the unfortunate thing about these gang members. You can't be respected unless the more and more you're willing to throw your life away. Oh, you willing to throw your life away on what? Let me know right now. On 6-0.
And the ability to put on new members. Well, in the late summer of 2004, he would bring his first young member to be put on the set. This would be a young friend of his by the name of Eric Holder. Eric was only 14 years old,
What happened
but
to
already
Nipsey?
thirsty and ready to put in work in the set.
Everybody know each other.
So of course, Zaire brings him to the set, puts him on, and he earns the nickname of Lil Shitty. Big Shitty and Lil Shitty, a duo that would forever make history in the set. So being a big homie at just 16 years old meant that Zaire had a rider by his side.
Okay.
At first, this meant protecting the trap, which happened to be Zaire's mom's house. This is where you could find a whole lot of money, jewelry, and illicit items inside.
Okay.
So because of Zaire, his mom's house became the hangout spot for
Bricc
the
Baby.
Overhill 60s.
My house was the spot. She had money and shit in the house and a lot of jewelry.
On
So
6-0.
she let all the gangbangers kick it at the house.
Okay.
Because she had control of us, I had control of my homies, but we was like the security blanket.
Now remember,
Okay.
as he's committing felony robberies and hanging out on the block, he's still enrolled in private school.
I have to
and
admit,
playing on the
Bricc Baby
basketball team.
made it seem like being a gamer was
So
member
now
so
it's the
fun.
fall of 2004. and
Smile on
Zaire's
his
team
face.
has a major season ahead. The team is
Laughing all the
absolutely
time.
stacked as they have a 6'10" D1
So proud,
center,
so
a
happy.
6'7" D1 wing, and the point guard is Devin Williams, who you may know is in the lab. Well, long story short, they're so good that they have an undefeated.
So that's what's going on, Bricc Baby right here. Instead of going the right path, he decided to indulge in the streets. They said he's locked up right now. They say he might be facing so long. Don't forget, not only Bricc Baby is a gang member, he's also a father.
State championship game in Sacramento. Of course, they win the state championship, beating a Bay Area team like LA always does. So on paper, everything in Zaire's life is looking good. A good GPA,
Zaire.
a state championship, and also getting noticed on the AAU circuit. In fact, he was playing so well that he skipped his senior year of high school to go play at a basketball prep school in Mississippi.
Zaire.
Now, you'd think that with this great opportunity, Zaire would go into it with a positive mentality. Now that I'm out of state, I'm going to leave the gang stuff behind me
No.
and simply focus on basketball. But sadly, for whatever reason, he simply cannot let the street life go. So right after his senior year at the prep school, he catches his first case.
On
As he's
6-0.
riding around Mississippi in a car with no registration, troopers get behind him. And because he has an illegal weapon in the car, he decides to take him on a chase.
On 6-0.
So he bends a few blocks, giving him enough time to roll down the window and throw out the clip and then throw out the weapon.
It's bad,
so then
man.
after getting rid of it, he rolls his window up and then pulls over so they can talk to him. Unfortunately for him, the officers did see him throw it, so they go around and they end up finding it. At this point, everything he's worked hard for is at jeopardy. He
Bricc
could
baby.
quickly become a felon. However, because of a technicality in Mississippi law, he gets off with a misdemeanor.
Threw the gun, so they found the gun with no clip. That's a misdemeanor. Because it wasn't like,
Well, while this is going on and he's sitting in a jail cell, he does receive some very good news.
and while I'm there, I get an acceptance letter from Clark Atlanta University.
Okay.
So now he has the amazing opportunity to play on Clark Atlanta's basketball team and to go to school for free. Well, after presenting this to the court, the judge thankfully allows him to get out of jail just 2 days before orientation.
What day do you start orientation? He let me out 2 days before orientation, so I couldn't do no gang banging or nothing.
This was a close call, but thankfully they let him off easy and he's able to now focus on, well, is he? Oh, hell no. You'd think that catching that case would scare him straight. Like
No.
everything
I
worked
think
hard
so.
for almost was out of my hands. Like now I'm gonna focus on basketball and school and definitely stay out of trouble. But nope, Zaire's entrance to Atlanta would be quite the opposite. As soon as he touches down in the city, he links up with his Rolling 60s cousins who now run with BMF. So while his classmates are sleeping in the dorms and kicking it on campus, he's with Big Meech at the club and sleeping in his mansion as well.
So I'm the youngest little dude. You know what I'm saying? Young in the club. 17, 18. I would meet you there though.
And as soon as he was introduced to their lifestyle, he fell in love with it and was willing to do anything to impress Big Meech, including trapping and moving weight while being a full-time college student. So just like that, an 18-year-old Zaire is risking his freedom once again. And unfortunately, during his second semester, it would all catch up to him. While heading down the interstate with 75 pounds in his car, a Georgia State trooper gets behind him. He throws some of the bags.
So that's what's going on, Bricc baby, right there. Check out part 2. Check out part 2. Sometimes hard for these individuals to learn. They need to go to, sorry, this is a terrible thing. They need to be locked away for many, many years. So maybe Bricc baby could finally learn many, many years later. But maybe not. Unsick so. They say crime don't pay, but I see them do it though. Unbelievable. Check out part 2.